Hi, I'm Lisa with Lisa Boone Designs, and today we're going to be making over this desk. And we're going to be using some different colors that I created on the DIY paint line and also a DIY paint lab color.
This video is going to be an in-depth blending tutorial. I received this desk recently. It was actually left over from an estate sale, and the person that was managing the estate gave it to me for free. It had a few little dings and dents, but nothing too major. I started with my carbide scraper. You always want to use it level with your substrate, and it does a great job. You don't want to make any major dents, so be careful. And then you want to sand it. These are the tools that I'm going to be using today. These are custom colors, the first two that I created and the one in the back, and then the green is from the DIY lab.
I decided to use this. So this is part of the DIY paint lab color, and I wanted to show you the difference between the greens. So it's not Monet's Garden, which is a dark forest hunter green color. Okay, see if you can see it. It's not Salty Kiss, and then this is Aviary. So it's like a cross. Oh, this is not that long ago I created, you probably can't really see the actual color. I created several colors, several shades. I mixed a whole bunch of DIY paint together, and I created custom colors. I had maybe drops of different ones. Some of them were getting chunky, and so I did like 4 different ones. I mixed a whole bunch of paint, added water, and then I just put the color on the top so I'd remember what I did. So that's one color, and then this is another one. And this says weathered wood, but it's actually a little bit of black, and I hope that I have enough in here. So there is a little bit of weathered wood in there. And you can see that it's chunky. I'm gonna water that down, and we're gonna create a stain to do the top with using this. You can water down DIY paint 10-to-1, and so I'm gonna water this down a good bit. So I always wet my wood. Especially, when I usually, like I said, use dark and decrepit.
Wetting the wood acts like a preconditioner. It allows me to have more control. It waters down the product just a little bit more as well, but it doesn't leave it splotchy, and I like doing that whenever I'm using dark and decrepit or staining onto raw wood. And then I take my blue sponge applicator. I'm just wanting to get it smoothed out and level, and then I take a lint-free rag and I wipe it back. And I always do a second coat if I want to go darker, but I really liked the way that it came out looking, and people that saw it actually said it matched my floors. So that's something to keep in mind if I ever want to do that. I'm using my Klingon F40 to get started. Normally, I use one brush when I'm blending, but in this tutorial, I decided to use several brushes, one for each color, and I'm started out with the F40. DIY paint is a clay-based paint, and so you don't have to prime your piece, and you don't necessarily have to sand your pieces either. If it's very, very slick, you might want to scuff sand it, but usually DIY paint will stick to almost anything. Your first coat is not going to give you full coverage, but you're going to get great coverage. I usually only do 2 coats unless I'm doing some blending and I'm trying to perfect it. That's the only reason why I would do more than 2. And in this case, I do that, and you'll see that later on. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this green color? This is not in the DIY paint line. It was like an oops paint from the DIY warehouse, the lab, so to speak. And I really do like the way that it comes out looking. It's a beautiful green. I only removed the drawers because it has a lip and I needed to get behind it, but whenever I'm blending, I always keep my drawers intact. And I usually will open up the drawers a little bit and clean off the rims and the edges and just let it sit there and let it dry. As you can see, DIY paint dries a little bit lighter, and when it's wet, it becomes very bright, vibrant. For my second coat, I always wet my piece with a fine mist sprayer. I prefer fine mist sprayer because it's a light, even coverage. If you want more water, you could always add more. But this is how you can blend your colors and also stretch the paint. But water is definitely a must if you're wanting to blend. So I go ahead and I start with my green again, and then I start introducing the other colors to the piece. I start with just a little bit of paint on my brush. You'd never want to put a lot of paint on your brush. It gives you more control, and also you don't waste paint. But the blue color with the green definitely is a hit. I love blending these two colors together. Now this blue is a color that I created just using my leftover paint and just putting it all in a jar together, and I'm trying to use it all up in different projects, and I love this color combination. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. As you can see, I continue hitting it with the water as I'm brushing it on. If I feel that it's dragging, if I feel like it's not blending, I spritz a little bit of water. I always have the water bottle nearby or in my hand. Now I'm gonna add that lighter color. It looks white, but it's really not white. It's just gonna be for highlights. And I always like to mist my paint and the piece as well. And I always do start off with a moistened brush as well. It helps the paint to glide. But look at that blending. It's gorgeous. I end up changing it just because, but this is a great start.
Wanna be the person that you call up when you're down. Wanna be the first who knows all of your deepest secrets. Can I be the one who wakes you up before you missed your ride? 'Cause I wanna be close to you, and I wanna show you something new. You gotta know, every day I got your back, yeah, you can count on me for that. So put your hand in mine, I will be there every day. When you're sick of the climb, I will make sure it's okay. I know you didn't ask for any of this, but we reach for the sky. That's for flying colors now. Gonna try to keep the pace, but someday we will find that the world has changed, but we stay true to each other. I will always be there for you whenever you need my help. I'm taking my time to be your rock. I don't ever wanna be apart. You gotta know, every day I got your back, yeah, you can count on me for that. So put your hand in mine, I will be there every day. When you're sick of the climb, I will make sure it's okay. I know you didn't ask for any
actually looking really, really good. And I kept staring at it, and I decided that I wanted to add a little bit of that black weathered wood piece that I used on the top, and I used it on the bottom. And so then I wanted to do it on the front. Again, it looked great. It would have been amazing, but I wanted to add a little bit more interest and depth, and I am so glad that I did. Sometimes you just have to try it. You know, we always say it's just paint. You could always go ahead and repaint it. But there was something about that darker paint, because it had that weathered wood in it. When it reacted with the green and when it reacted with a little bit of the blue, it was just phenomenal. I just loved the way that it looked. Let me know, would you have left it as it was, or would you have taken a chance and added that darker color? And even though this is technically quote unquote a third coat, it really hardly is. I used a lot of water, and I reactivated the paint that was underneath, and very minimal paint. And I just made some adjustments, added a little bit more blue, but used the water to blend it in to the previous coat. And you just keep going until you like it. That's really the trick of it. And sometimes you have to wait till it dries and look at it and see what it's looking like. If there are some harsh edges and the blending isn't perfect, you could always distress it. And a lot of times you can take a baby wipe and remove some of the harshness and get it to blend even after it's already been dried. So there's several things that you can do to fix little parts of it. There's no need in repainting and wasting paint and time for just a few little pieces. But in this case, because I was doing it in one day, the paint was fresh enough, and again, it's DIY paint, I can reactivate it with water. I was able to get it to do exactly what I wanted to do. When I added the darker color on the bottom, that was it for me. That was so it. I knew that I had nailed it, and I was really happy because I hadn't really done a blended look like this in quite a while, and I loved every single part of this desk makeover. It was so much fun. I've done a lot of pieces here recently, and each one has been completely different and so much fun. And so I'm glad that I was able to get my color out and just have fun, because this was something that I was just painting to sell. It wasn't for a client, so I could do whatever I wanted. And sometimes we need that. It's great to have client work, and I love to do that, but I also love to just freely paint. If you have any questions about blending, please feel free to contact me and let me know. I love blending, and it's easy for me, but I know that there's a lot of people that struggle with it. And so if you have any questions, if there's any way that I can help you, I would love to. All of the products that I used today, meaning DIY paint and the Klingon brushes and even the sealer that I use here at the end, can be found on my website, lisaboondesigns.com. The links are in the description. Speaking of my website, just want to show you real quick. I have an Amazon favorites section now with all links. It's an affiliate link, doesn't cost you anything, but it does help me out. And then I have a gifts of love, beautiful necklaces, perfect for Valentine's or any gift giving, even nameplates. And I also have some apparel and t-shirts. So check it out. Whenever I am painting legs, chairs, tables, I like to turn it upside down so that I can do a good job of making sure I get every aspect of it. I'm using DIY Paint's Black Velvet. It's nice, beautiful coverage. I usually only have to do like 1.5 coats. And then I'm going to go ahead and seal it all up with Sweet Pickins Final Finish in satin. I use my blue sponge applicator. These products are also on my website. I'm loving the Sweet Pickins top coat. It is such a great finish, very, very durable. You can use it the next day, and I'm just loving it. Scratch resistant, very durable. Not that DIY Pig Top is not, it's just different. And there is a little bit of a chemical in it. It's not 100% all natural the way DIY paint is, and it does react to the paint just a little bit, but I am loving what I've been doing with it, and it's very, very durable. So I highly recommend it. You can't go wrong with Sweet Pickins or DIY paint, and I love that they work so great together. That's why I use these paints and I sell them, because I really believe in them and I love them. All right, here's the before. And now here's the after. I love the way the top turned out. It really does match my floors, but it really did a great job mixing a little bit of weathered wood with the black velvet and the water. If you wanted it a little bit darker, you could always do that second coat like I said before, but I always start with a light coat first. I mean, I really can't get over this one. I love how she turned out. Of course, you see that I've distressed it a little bit. I always like to distress furniture. I feel like if you try to make it perfect and then it gets dinged up, you're going to be so upset. And there's nothing perfect. God is perfect and we are not. And so we are flawed, and I like my furniture flawed. That's just my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I love how it turned out. You can see all of the colors, and it looks like it was just faded over time. The blending is so on point. I love the way that it turned out. I love that I added those darker colors, and it just adds drama and interest. And then the chair in the black, just to me, sets it off. I love it. And then I use that wallpaper, that vintage wallpaper in the back. Don't mind the blue tape. You couldn't see it in my pictures when I staged it for the pictures. Of course, Simon's in the back there, chilling, being in my video. And I did change all of the hardware, so I feel like that also adds a pop of interest and drama, and I just love it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I so appreciate you. I can't say it enough. I hope that you have an incredibly blessed day. Ciao.